Gaming laptops can be ridiculously expensive, even some high-end models like recent MSI models ranging $3,000 and counting. But if you're on a tight budget and in the lookout for the best gaming laptops, this doesn't mean you have to spend a fortune to get the best gaming experience. So after extensive research and testing some of the budget-friendly options, we've compiled the top 6 best budget gaming laptops, putting into mind the latest CPU offerings from Intel and AMD, graphics card offerings, as well as battery life, screen sizes, and storage capacity. So whether it's price, specific specs, or portability, we've got it all covered. And as always, you can find links of all the specific laptops mentioned in the video in the description below to check for pricing or further information. But without much talk, let's get started. Number 5. Acer Nitro 5. Nitro 5 models offer one of the cheapest ways to snag 30 or 40 series NVIDIA RTX GPU. It packs several configurations including the RTX 4050, which is the star here, and only a handful of alternatives like the Lenovo LOQ 15 and the not-so-good MSI GF63 Thin Series offer the RTX 4050 at a similar price. This GPU is strong enough to run nearly any game at stable frame rates and also supports ray tracing in most games, which isn't always a guarantee on cheap gaming laptops. Intensive games like Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered never dip below 55 FPS at high settings, and even more demanding games like Microsoft Flight Simulator manage to stay above 40 FPS at all times. Not mind-blowing, but a good show from a laptop this inexpensive. Acer's cost-cutting measures are kind of evident in its specification. The laptop chooses Intel's Core i5-13420H, an 8-core processor that sits near the bottom of Intel's H-series lineup and cuts memory to a meager 8GB DDR5. It also comes with a resolution 1080p with a 144Hz panel, which looks rather sharp on a 15.6-inch screen, but lacks the vibrant colors and brightness found in laptops with an OLED or mini LED display. But this will be less of a concern if you play games in a darker room. The Nitro 5 stays cool to the touch at all times, even while in the middle of a game or multitasking. It has dedicated fans for the CPU and GPU, and it's covered in air vents. Though these can get loud when gaming, it's not to a distracting level, especially with headphones on. Most of the overall plastic build and design features are still the same as its predecessor, the Acer Nitro 5 2022 version, excluding the graphics. You have to note that there's no advanced Optimus, meaning you have to manually reboot to turn Optimus on, and no G-Sync 2, which is not surprising with most budget laptops. But you at least get a mux switch. The battery life is also a downside, which can run you up to 4.5 hours with intense games, but at just $850, which can even drop as low as $720 on Newegg, Acer's Nitro 5 is still a solid budget gaming laptop given its overall performance even in intense games. Number 4. GIGABYTE G5. Starting a little bit over $800, the GIGABYTE G5 2023 is a great deal for its price, and this only runs down to 2 things: its build quality and an overall great performance. It's sleek and robust, coming with a premium-feeling touchpad and a sturdy chassis. And thanks to its monster performance, powered by the new RTX 4060 graphics card, you get 60 frames per second even in the most demanding games at their highest settings, including Cyberpunk 2077, which is impressive for its price. And for less demanding games, you can expect frame rates nearing 100 or above, and the G5's 144Hz refresh rate captures all of them. It performs far better than the older RTX 3060, and in some cases it outstrips the more expensive, more powerful RTX 3070, which is quite remarkable. The G5 also supports frame generations, an AI feature that improves game performance by using AI to generate frames while gaming. Though this is only supported in a limited number of games so far. You have to note that it's not the lightest or smallest laptop, but those thin bezels keep it relatively compact, and it fits neatly in a small backpack. Plus, it helps that the 150-watt charging brick is also miniature, so its weight is not that annoying. The biggest drawback of the G5 is the noise it makes when it's running any marginally demanding game, which is not that of a new experience for anyone who has used a gaming laptop in the past. And gaming laptops are generally not any quieter in 2024, especially the high-performance units. And in terms of battery life, it's solid but not spectacular. On the most neutral power settings, the GIGABYTE G5 can run for 4 hours and 41 minutes, which places it right in the mid-range for gaming laptops. And clearly, gaming will drain the battery rapidly, so you might find yourself reaching for the cable more than you'd like. Overall, with a generally higher performance than an RTX 3060 laptop, and for roughly the same price as one, added support for DLSS frame generation, the newer G5 seems like a done deal already. And currently, this laptop is on sale for $749 on Newegg, which would be a total steal. It's a limited time deal though, so check out the links in my description to check for prices or further information. Number 3. Lenovo LOQ 15. The Lenovo LOQ 15 models are one of the few budget-friendly laptops right now that don't compromise on premium features other expensive laptops tend to offer. These features are normally found in much more expensive laptops, like the Mux Switch and Advanced Optimus, which automatically boosts FPS in games. There are many configurations and more customizable options when it comes to the CPU and GPU. For example, this Lenovo LOQ model comes with an Intel Core i5 13th Gen processor, an RTX 4050 graphics, and 8 gigs of DDR5 memory, which is on sale for just $719 on Newegg right now. This NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050 GPU provides lag-free gaming performance and is capable of a reliable and steady 1080p smooth gaming performance. You could also get a 3050 graphics card, which is more cheaper than the 4050 one, but honestly, it's worth spending 20% more money on a 4050 if you can afford it. Plus, the 4050 supports frame generations in games and promises you an overall better gaming experience. The screen even has a G-Sync for smoother gameplay. This laptop comes with a storm gray plastic chassis with a thin sidewall and a military-grade ruggedness, which feels sturdier than most high-end laptops. The huge drawback with these laptops is usually the battery life that runs you up to 2 hours during gaming and 4 hours of normal tasks, which is underwhelming. Though this is mostly expected and not surprising with any other cheap and mid-range laptops. But with the same level of premium features that you could find on other much more expensive laptops and a respectable low-end RTX performance, it's easy to understand why it's always a compelling choice for budget-conscious gamers. Number 2. MSI Cyborg 15. The MSI Cyborg 15 is a beast when it comes to gaming performance or even normal day-to-day tasks, especially when you put its price on the table. Flanked with a weight of 1.98 kg and a super unique thin design, it's a relatively lightweight and portable gaming solution, which is unlike most cheap gaming laptops. Powered by Intel's 12th Gen Core i7-12650H processor and 16GB DDR5 RAM, it promises a fast and efficient CPU that can handle multitasking and steady live streams. You also get 1 or 2 TB SSD storage, and paired with an RTX 4060 graphics card, which you can also lower it to a 4050, it pushes 100+ FPS in most titles at high settings, more than enough to take advantage of the high refresh rate display for smooth, responsive gameplay. Games like CS2 can get above 200 FPS in its lowest settings, which is good enough for this heavy title. And it blazes a 144Hz refresh rate of the display, so in hindsight, you're really getting a great gaming experience. And though it doesn't have the widest color arrays, the colors look perfectly fine, especially during gaming, so this model doesn't compromise on its picture quality. The battery life is also mediocre at best, only running you up to 1.5 hours of gaming. But again, with this price point, we can't expect much, so you might find yourself plugging in the laptop, especially during gaming. But with normal tasks or an idle battery, it can run you up to 7 hours, which is pretty decent. Cooling setup is also not the best since it's a single fan setup and can get quite loud during gaming, and with this price, MSI could have justified going with this cooling setup, but in the benchmarks of things, a cheap gaming laptop that can play most games at 60 frames per second at high settings and other games even 100, it's definitely worth this price point. It is one of the cheapest laptops with an RTX 4060 GPU, and it has a distinctive, unique design that stands out from the crowd. Before we reveal number 1, be sure to check out for the newest deals of all these laptops in the description below. Some have limited time deals, so grab them while you can, and be sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the best products in the market. Number 1. ASUS TUF Dash 15. For a little over $800, it's evident why a lot of budget-conscious gamers opt to usually end up with the ASUS TUF 15. Its mid-range price doesn't compromise on either performance, design, and even has a decent battery life, which is why it stands out than most budget gaming laptops. It features the latest 12th Gen Intel Core i5-12450H CPU and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 GPU, which is capable to handle most demanding games smoothly. So whether you're playing AAA titles or tackling productivity workloads, this laptop won't disappoint. And though it can get hot and loud at times, its performance doesn't drop. so you get consistent frame rates even when gaming for an extended period. And while the base 144Hz display suffers from slow response times and lacks variable refresh rate, VRR support, you have the option to upgrade to a faster Full HD 300Hz or QHD 165Hz display. These alternatives promise an overall better visual fluidity and arrays. You can also configure it with up to 16 GB of memory and 1 TB of storage, which makes it even more customizable. This upgradability functions is what makes it stand out, since you can easily upgrade RAM, storage, and even swap out the Wi-Fi card if needed. Its Wi-Fi 6 wireless adapter and Ethernet port also ensure that you stay connected with minimal latency when engaging in online battles. But that wraps up our in-depth review of the best budget gaming laptops. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of these picks, or if you've had experience with any of them. We'd love to hear from you. And if any of them caught your eye, don't forget to check out links of all the models mentioned are in the description below for the best prices. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more future tech updates and reviews. Your support keeps this channel going strong. But until next time, fellow gamers, keep those frames high and your temperatures low. Happy gaming!